Something strange is happening in the skies over Europe, a quiet but escalating battle for control of the air. Across the continent, from Denmark to Poland, the sound of drones has become the soundtrack of a new kind of warfare. And now, European leaders are talking about a radical idea that sounds like it belongs in a sci-fi movie: building a drone wall. But what exactly is a drone wall, and can it really protect Europe from Russia's growing aggression? Let's break it down. It started in Denmark, where two major security summits were held under extraordinary precautions. Entire sections of airspace were shut down, and mobile radar units were deployed to hunt for unauthorized drones. For good reason. Over recent months, Russian drones have been spotted repeatedly over European territory, testing defenses, gathering intelligence, and stirring public anxiety. These aren't isolated incidents. They're part of what experts call a hybrid war, a shadow conflict fought through cyber attacks, disinformation, and increasingly unmanned aerial vehicles. European leaders, shaken by these incursions, are determined to respond. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen put it bluntly: Europe is in the most dangerous moment since the end of World War II. Her message was clear: rearm, innovate, and prepare. And from that determination, the idea of a drone wall was born. Despite the dramatic name, this so-called wall isn't a physical barrier stretching across Europe. It's a massive, interconnected defense network, a web of radars, sensors, and mobile air defense systems designed to detect and destroy drones before they can cause harm. Think of it as Europe's digital shield, a mix of advanced technology and coordinated strategy linking countries from the Baltic to the Balkans. The concept gained major traction when European Union defense ministers and NATO officials began publicly backing it. Even the European Commission President and NATO's new chief, Mark Rutte, have voiced support. But here's the catch. No one yet knows exactly what this wall will look like or how to pay for it. As one analyst noted, shooting down a $10,000 drone with $1 million missile isn't exactly sustainable. And Europe's economies, already stretched by the war in Ukraine, face hard choices about where to spend their defense budgets. Still, some believe the cost is worth it. For many European officials, Russia's drone activity isn't just about surveillance, it's a test of resolve. Each flight into NATO airspace sends a signal: Moscow is probing for weakness. That's why figures like Lithuania's Andrius Kubilius and Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer argue that Europe must invest now before it's too late. But not everyone is convinced. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius has urged caution, warning against unrealistic expectations. He says the idea of a single drone wall might be more slogan than strategy. Others, like former US Army Commander Ben Hodges, say the concept lacks a clear objective. In other words, Europe might be talking about building a wall before deciding what it's supposed to defend. Meanwhile, the Kremlin is mocking the idea, calling it another example of Europe's paranoia. Russian spokesman Dmitry Peskov even quipped that history shows walls are never a good idea, a pointed jab with echoes of the Cold War. But for many in Europe, the threat feels very real. Analysts at leading think tanks warn that Russia could escalate against a NATO member within the next few years. And if that happens, Europe's airspace, not its trenches, will be the first battlefield. So, will the drone wall become a turning point in European defense, or fade into another unrealized promise? That depends on whether Europe can turn political momentum into practical action. Because right now, the skies are already contested, and the future of European security may depend on who wins the invisible war above our heads. In the end, the drone wall isn't just about technology, it's about trust, unity, and readiness in a new age of warfare. And as the world watches Europe's response, one question remains: can walls, even invisible ones, ever truly stop what's coming next?